Welcome back. This morning, we've learned President Biden and the First Lady will visit Hawaii Monday as the death toll from the devastating wildfires grows. 106 people are now confirmed dead, but just 3 of those victims identified so far. We have the names of 2 of them, 74-year-old Robert Dykman and 79-year-old Buddy Janik, both of Lahaina. Around 1,000 people are still missing, with about a quarter of this burn zone searched. Their families anxiously awaiting word.
It not just me lost everything, but, everybody. Everything's gone.
Joining us now from Maui is NBC News correspondent Steve Patterson. Steve, in addition to the search for those 1,000 or so people still missing, I know there are growing calls for accountability this morning. Where does that stand at this hour?
Yeah, I think you have to break down the accountability based on time frames, right? There are kind of accountability calls about before and how the fire started, during and the response to the fire, and then after and what could happen well beyond the fire burn. Let's start chronologically, right? So there's more mounting circumstantial, I want to say that, video evidence, that although the cause is certainly under investigation, that down power lines may be used as evidence to prove that that was the cause of the fire. Hawaiian Electric already has 3 lawsuits against it, saying that the power should have been cut during the fire or even before the fire when there was a wind event in the area that could have prevented or saved more lives or prevented that fire from starting in the first place. So that's one. 2 is the response during it. Of course, there's going to be an Attorney General investigation based here in the state. It will be wide-ranging. Interviews could possibly happen. Evidence will be collected. The goal to find out what was the response from officials here on the ground, why didn't the sirens go off, and much more, of course, that we've been reporting about. And third is what could happen after, well after this fire. There's a lot of fear on this island about the possibility, and you heard the term land grab, that realtors will be contacting people, buying up property, and that the price will drive out the native population here. The most striking thing I've heard is that Maui will turn into Malibu, that Lahaina will turn into Waikiki, and that it will price out people so dramatically that they won't have a chance. And they're already struggling in many cases on this island as it is. Anna? Yeah,
and Steve, we learned the president, the first lady are going to visit on Monday. Here's what the president said yesterday about why he hasn't gone sooner.
I don't want to get in the way. I've been to too many disaster areas, but I want to go make sure we got everything they need. All that area they got to plow up. They can't do it now because they don't know how many bodies are there. They don't know what's left.
Steve, what's the reaction there on the ground to this back and forth about the timing of when the president could visit?
Yeah, well, I'll be transparent about the announcement. It's coming as it's still 4 o'clock in the morning, so I haven't had a chance to really directly address this with people here. But I will say there is just sort of broad, I would say, disillusion with the government, with the county government, with the state government, and certainly with the federal government, that although resources are now flowing in, that FEMA is assisting, that housing is being provided to citizens, that food and fuel and water and shelter is being provided, and certainly that is flowing through the government, and that people welcome that aid, that in the first early hours of this fire and broadly the next few days after it, a lot of people say that that assistance simply wasn't there. So I think people are hearing about the possibility of a presidential visit, certainly before the announcement was made. And I think the reaction is they want to know why. Is it purely for the optics of it, or are people here to help them? And then also, will that clog up the aid? I mean, when the president comes in, that is a long caravan. It shuts down traffic. Will that, sort of help or hamper the effort that's happening here?